So now,
Yep, so we're
we're
live.
live, that's good. And then
We need her to stick
I
around.
want to go,
And now we want to go to the Zoom.
He said, "You need her help with like
To
figuring out where to
Zoom.
get the paper?" I said, "No, we're working on that. We got that under control."
But
But
we've come to her to help her.
I said,
Here.
There it is.
Yeah.
learning from this
right?
would be
And then we'll
good.
start the meeting.
And
Yes.
it's a big project. It's
And then we'll
not-
join her
And you know
audio.
something? It has nothing to do
So,
with central
Do we want to go with
administration.
computer or
Anything
do we want to go
that's
with?
local
No, you're right, you're
business organization.
Yeah, we call it computer audio, but we're gonna just make sure
That it's,
we're using the
the
owl,
owl.
and we are using the owl.
The fact is,
And if you start the video, what? Your live stream is on the owl.
okay, quick question.
Okay, so let's,
Oh, that's the wrong.
I wonder if I can mute and just mute, it is muted now, right? I think it is,
Yes,
yes.
yep, you're muted.
Okay, so
I
when the
don't think
meeting
you're
starts-
muted on your live stream, but you are muted on your.
Yeah, it's Google.
There it is.
Okay,
Yep.
so,
And the city's a big.
There, we're muted. huh?
So what are you doing?
Nope, I think you can mute,
Oh, yeah.
but see how it's showing the
I
little
see.
green dot?
Okay, so when we start, I'm gonna mute for now.
You can always feel that on you.
It's a look, yeah.
What did you get, your suitcase box?
Oh,
When you were in college, you remember the flipped up polo shirt under an Oxford shirt. With that collar up.
it would not have been Phil.
No?
No, it was, Levi's denim jacket and t-shirt,
Yeah.
all seasons.
What about leggings, shorts or long ones? Shorts or long ones?
I don't remember, I never looked down. I think I wore jeans.
So, qu'est-ce que c'est?
This is the fuel that keeps the meetings going.
No, no.
We're almost pre-diabetics.
We're almost, yeah, we're all on a successful phase.
Oh, my attractive football bag.
No, she's talking about the candy.
Oh.
It's all crap.
It's a-
Just like all the stuff we have in our houses. It's crap. And we've all learned that none of our children want anything.
Actually, I watched something this morning, I told this woman is like 100 years old, and she said, it's very important, and she speaks very slowly, but it's very important, everyone should think about the things that you bring in your home. As soon as you bring your food, there's stuff there, and let you get rid of them. And nobody wants your stuff, and you go ahead and let it come and take it all away
You
and
have to
sell
do a
it.
Swedish death.
And it's meaningless to everyone else. And so think about what you bring in and also get rid of things on a monthly basis. She's definitely got a 100 years old. and
The word
Be in session.
Be a session, yeah.
Be in session.
So we're gonna have a partial shutdown of the federal government starting on Friday, yes?
So it's been said.
Well.
You got those radiacs in the Congress. My goodness. Oh.
Bringing Marie Kondo. It says don't stuff your socks inside one another.
Because they restricted one.
Probably, what she said actually though, is that it was cruel.
Oh, your socks.
Yes.
The opposite.
I didn't know my socks were similar.
Oh, we have the first, no. I guess I read it in my phone.
Your socks are embryonic.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey, John.
Oh, I have it, I have it.
so
Do you have one?
I said, I don't know how good of an idea that is.
All right, you
It's fresh.
just want them over.
It's
It's the table at for more.
exactly. It's fresh. And they're not there anymore. They're sold.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
They did.
Corvitas,
I
the
looked,
deli.
it looks
Yeah.
pretty, it looks pretty,
Well, they sold to an Asian couple.
Doesn't look very,
And I don't know whether or not they've reopened yet.
I
Last
heard
time I ate there, I got food poisoning. So,
Really?
yeah.
But it's fresh.
It's
Right.
like-
We're gonna be
Not
out
so
for
much
a
in
little
my
while, so we're
experience.
locking the front door, but we're gonna leave the
Thank
back
you.
door unlocked, so people can get in and out.
Thanks a lot.
They're Italian, so it's not terrible.
Not bad. No, and sometimes even their mac and cheese as a side is good. I mean, I always like to go more here. After the other sub shop on, Walden, right next to the combined fire. Right down the corner. Remember the sub shop that
I
we
did.
did? Right opposite the,
Oh, okay,
Hot Wheel
Deli?
factory.
okay, well, Deli, oh, sure. That was a classic.
It sure was.
What was the name of it?
But everybody
Yeah.
called it.
Over there on,
Without papers shop.
without papers?
Well, that's what WOP is.
I thought it stood for like,
Nope, without
No,
papers.
no,
okay.
no, not that. No,
Kurt was in the business.
none of those.
No.
I said, I need proof. I don't want to be more than a word. I said, I want proof.
Away without me. I gave you.
I like it. Well,
Busy?
we're entertaining.
Well, I just
Yeah,
saw
it's
Seth
in-
come around the corner. What?
Wait, you just said what?
Busy.
Busy.
Yeah, busy. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Why? We're making you a name tag, but we're not forgetting about that. Don't worry. We don't know who you are.
I planned to
Yeah.
Some fine day.
So did you have a good time with the undisclosed?
The where?
The undisclosed.
Oh, yes, I did.
Too hot? Too hot?
Yeah. Just there, Gabby Burns. So,
Yeah.
Really,
Bill
but
said,
it's always
Bill said
shareable.
treasurer of the candy.
Can't use our credit. If anyone needs paper for, the financial statement.
Sure. I'll take one.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank
Is it
you.
more than, okay,
It's a page doc. Basically, income statement and balance sheet by another name. Or names. And looking at this.
Yeah. But you did take 50,000 out of that, our investment.
I took that out of our cash account, I believe, and I put it in bank to pay our bills.
Yep.
Ah. Well, the drafts of the audit are teed up for review. First round, so we need to call a meeting with the audit.
Hi there.
You know, you can keep them away from
Somebody-
that.
Did you change your social media person? Yeah. It's good. It feels a little different. Oh, yeah? Yeah. She moved it. Maybe she's in, posting from there. She's influenced.
People want paper, we got on the budget.
Okay.
You want paper, you have one?
I have one. Wow, that's thick.
Well, that's the cost. I-
Sure. Nothing wrong.
Can your budget?
Looks exactly like what's in there with an app.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. There's a restaurant in the city on
They took his pin out, okay, and he's very pleased. He does not have a rather large pin, so he put it up.
it was out the end of its term.
Really? Oh, yes, it was awful. Well, look, I have a very wide sort of Birkenstock looking sneaker.
Yay.
Hey, game on.
Game on. Okay, Jen, you're rolling. So, I'm gonna call the February meeting to order at 12:02. It's good to see all of you guys in person, and, I appreciate appreciate your visits to HDC and thank you. We circulated the minutes yesterday. There were two sets of minutes, one from a regular meeting and also we did a Zoom meeting to discuss the project. And so there was minutes from that. They were both circulated. And did anyone have any questions? Let's start with the January minutes. Were there any concerns or any comments on the January minutes? Thank you, Michael, for your comments. You so appreciate that. If not, I'll make a motion to approve. Yes. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to the Zoom meeting. The Zoom meeting was held on February 12th, Monday at 4 p.m. That was an emergency meeting, and we posted it to our website in the morning. It usually should be longer time than that, but given the emergency nature of needing to meet, the Tuesdays, this is a school district board meeting. I appreciate that you all showed up for that. Because that's good. Anyway, any comments on those minutes?
I was not available for all.
You'd say, okay. Okay, Paul, first, second. Bill, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? One abstain. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, let's keep it. I always like to keep looking forward, and I'm looking forward to our March 19th annual meeting. I feel like that. That's a little bit looking forward to it. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate that you're going a week earlier than 19th. It's going to be good for us because we want to be sure we're smooth sailing into the following. And Phil is integral to that equation, and he is going way close to the final date. So we can get all of our ABO things done, and also the filing of the audit, which is the most important by the 29th of March. So thank you. It'll be on the 19th. It's going to be an annual meeting, so during that time we review the mission statement, we go over any documents that we revised, make sure that aren't revised, that we feel we need to revise to continue. We go through our accomplishments for the last year, talk about that, and also, hey, hello.
Hello. Sorry.
Review any concerns or any areas that we feel we should be pushing on going forward. So it takes a little longer. We're supposed to have a regular meeting, which would be like this, where we just kind of talk about what we've accomplished in February to March, and then we do a little segment at the end of the meeting with the annual meeting conversation. Well, it takes a little longer. I hope it won't be 2 hours, but we should flat out that will be that amount of time. We will serve lunch, so you can look forward to that. And also, I've asked the photographer to come who photographed us before and do a new board shot because we've changed this new people and people have disappeared. And some of you never had your original pictures taken for the board, and it's kind of important as we go forward with our mission and with John Oliver's work that when people go to our website, we represent it properly. And we'll talk more about the website, Jan and Paul can work on that. So it's picture day, so dress appropriately. It's not pajama day. It's picture day. I thought today.
I know it was supposed to be. You look.
I want to go change too.
You look. The photographers couldn't make it.
I took a minute this morning to review where we were at this time last year, and we had just begun the business roundtables. It was an idea that we began when Misty started, and we got 2 or 3 of them under our belt last year. We also were reaching out to community leaders who we felt might not understand the mission of the HDC in order to introduce them to what work we would want to be doing and if we could collaborate with them in any way. And so that seems like 100 years ago to me, but the people that we contacted included Dr. Drummer from the community college, Dr. Spindler, who of course is no longer here, Tammy Dillon of Hudson Hall, Liz York of the youth department, Suzanne Holdridge, who runs Children's Connections and Families of Woodstock in Hudson, which is a pretty big operation of childcare, babysitting care, and making sure families have the support for their children that they need. And lots of other individuals in the community that we spoke to, I can't even remember now, We did learn a lot about, people didn't understand what we were here to do. They kind of remembered some of the old baggage. So we put that to rest, and Misty was here then, and then she wasn't here. So we did, collaborate with Hudson Hall after other things involved with the city and also with Hudson Business. A successful partnership, and the roundtables. Here we have partnered with the Hudson Business Coalition to work on taking them out of the get out and complain mode into more of like a TED Talk at the beginning with some expert in some aspect of Hudson business or economic development, and then have them share with us their knowledge, and then there's a question and answer period. And so what we've had, I think, has been very successful. I think people really like them. And I think there's a hospitality committee that formed as a result of the second one. So that's all good. Email from the email, each friend has decided in my sleeping boards is going to become a 6-month resident of Florida, and he really doesn't, he knows it'll be hard for him to make the meetings. I will miss his perspective and ideas about Hudson, and he's got something interesting to say, and you will details about things that, old Hudson people knew. I wish him well, and of course, it could be another tree initiative with another tree initiative with Brent, who wrote the grant and implemented, I should say, planted trees. So we'll bring him into the loop, and he has acknowledged that if that goes well, that he'd be happy to be consulted. We wish him well in Florida, and he couldn't be more tan, so I guess we'll have to be careful of that. But now we have a place, we have someone to visit Florida, so that's the good news. So let's get on to our agenda. Bill, I'm going to come to you for your monthly budget review.
As Martha correctly pointed out, we need some money out of our cash account brokerage into our banking account, recognizing the bills in the pipeline, the consulting service, the operation, etc. We had a bad habit of letting it get kind of late so we're down to nothing. So I wanted to be sure we had coverage for the bills going forward. All that was about. The audit process, which I don't think is totally visible to you all, but it is extremely visible to me. On the financial side, which includes a number of compliance questions relative to the process, who authorizes what. Do we have co-signatures with someone reviewing bank accounts? How many times do I log in? And stuff like that. They did a very thorough audit, and they pushed me and Sid pretty hard. They ended up finishing, we ended up finishing together essentially a month ahead of the actual delivery date. And all credit to Ray Kwan and Nicole Spears about wanting to get this done, and it's great for us. It means that I have in my inbox a draft of all of the UHI work under our new financial processes. I will call a meeting of the audit committee, which is the executive committee plus John and Martha, to go through that draft, and the full audit as reviewed by us and as completed by UHY will be presented to you all on the 19th for review and approval. So I can't come any further. I can do it. In quality that the budgets are straight up, other than moving some cash out of the cash brokerage account into the bank account to make sure we have coverage for our bills. As near as I can determine, there's no significant changes in strategy or process or investments. So I would ask the board to approve
motion?
When I get looking.
Paul, second? John? Any opposed? All in favor?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for all the items. The other side of the audit is the ADO, Julie Marshall's working on the piece that goes into the ADO care system, which is an overview of what we accomplished last year, which she takes 20 minutes and then we review that. And I expect to see that this week. And also, any policies that we've updated, and we updated most of our policies last year. So those get filed, and she's handling that side of it. So these two things will come together at the time when we
Paris, yeah. The actual financials going through.
Yes.
Before we were part of it.
Okay, moving on. I'm a bit embarrassed that I took my eyes off the board hand sheet and did not realize that my term is starting on Friday. So good luck. Good luck, Becky. Anyway, I didn't really understand the terms of the HDC service, and so I called Julie Marshall. I didn't know how it was set up. So I called Julie Marshall, who works at Harris Beach, and she reviewed both our bylaws. She helped us with our bylaws, but she reviewed the bylaws, and also there's nothing in the bylaws about the number of terms that a board member can serve. In other words, she said the body of thinking on boards is that if you have a strong board and there are powerful people serving, they need to be beat out, of course. But there also has to be a mechanism to take them out if they change course and the board doesn't feel that well. So they can always resign, which is something that any one of us could do if we decide this does keep it. It's not right to do anymore. So there's no negative about serving more than 2 terms. In some ways, she said sometimes that's a positive because the board has a bench strength that it continues and gets better. That's no reason to not continue to add new members to the board. And I'm going to pass on this term sheet which shows you all of your terms. A lot of them expire. We had an unfortunate brouhaha, let's call it, where half the board quit in the development of the TAS project, which stopped. When that happened, all the terms, the new people that joined all have a similar sign-up. So you got to figure out how to stagger them. Some of you will serve more than 2 terms, I hope. And we will be looking to add people who can, you all know what our focus is, we've done for last year. We'll be looking for people who we feel would be bringing expertise to the board and a diverse point of view and sensible thinking. So everybody, there's a nominating committee, but everybody's tasked with figuring out who would be going across and reviewing, like who would be a good board member. Please put them both in the nominating committee, and that is Seth, Nick, and Kristen. So they're does anyone want to speak about more terms from you or no more terms? Is there any dispute?
Not my pitch for it.
Well, so I'm glad you contacted Julie about that. So potentially we could nominate you for another 2-year term and maybe nominate you for president until the next annual meeting.
That's in a month, yeah.
And that way we would have a full
That's the
slate.
way to do it.
That's the way to do it. So 2 separate votes. I propose that we nominate Christine for another 3-year term.
So you, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh,
And
yeah.
so I further move
Yes.
that we, that Chris continues on in the role of president until the next annual meeting.
Yes.
You can't say until.
I like that.
Thank you, okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Donna.
That she would serve until her replacement.
Okay. Oh, okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Okay. Now I'm gonna get some stuff done. Okay, thank you, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so,
Chris, what about the other officers?
so here's the thing. At the annual meeting, which is next month, on March 19th, one of the roles of that meeting is to, review the officers of the organization and see if the current ones are willing to continue serving, which they are. Or, and all the other way, if someone else on the board would like to be considered for one of those positions, please let me know before the annual meeting will be put up as on the slate of people to be considered for the officer vote. So,
So we need to extend officer terms as well?
no, that's a yearly thing. It's yearly.
It is, oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and that's kind of good because as years happen, maybe somebody is, can't do what they're doing. Somebody else can fill in. So we'll be emailing you directly all of you.
I want to pitch you on treasurer. It is far and away the best job on this board. And just saying,
Comes with that candy.
give me a call. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So,
I'd like to nominate Phil to be treasurer.
I tell you, that.
For life.
Is it better to have staggered terms? Like if so many of us feel like our term ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should restart.
So we did talk about that. I remember Stephen Dunn did an analysis and it was a little more complicated than we realized. I'll bet Julie has some advice on that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is better for staggered because there's going to be a huge incidence of revisions later.
Right, so somebody that we bring on now, well, we can make that a three-year term, but people can, if we bring on somebody to finish out each term,
Yes.
there are ways we can do
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that one. Okay, moving on to our website. Jan and Paul have been working on reskinning the website and getting us ready to report to the public.
Yeah, I
Wanna
think
talk about it?
what we'd like to do is share it with the executive committee.
Sure.
Right now, we have all the map, the navigation, and all the drop downs. And I think we're good with that. We met last week. And what we're doing now is just inputting content. So if anyone, once we share the skeleton, the bones of it, we have some content, which we repurpose it. So we update all the bylaws and the organization and the photos and the minutes and blah, 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 but sort of the yellow stuff. But I think some of the other drop-down tabs, we just,
Sure.
we're revisiting that content. It's the flow with that. But our goal is to share it with the executive committee before my campaign.
Great.
And then you guys can look at it. And then my feeling is it should just go live. And then, very much like the city of Hudson.
Updates.
Yeah, running updates. Yeah, just that means that would be a complete, process. Yeah, I think we're in check.
But the last time we got together, there was also a lot of housekeeping. That sort of was the result.
Yeah.
Phone lines, phone numbers,
Oh, yeah.
servers.
Well, that's separate, yeah. I mean, the big issue separately, which we'll take care of upstairs, is that when we have meetings, we should really there is an HDC Wi-Fi. It is protected, it's secure for us. It wasn't working, but now it is. So, I think what we'll do is I'm meeting with Kira, so she's going to consolidate everything. Anyway, it's IT stuff, and I'm a 20th century gal, so IT the tech stuff doesn't come, naturally to me. But she's going to help us so that it will be all under the HDC moniker, as opposed to Chris Jones or Janet or Missy Booth, which is what it is now. Yeah, it's sort of under these personal. So what we're trying to do is just update it and make everything secure and streamlined, so that if everyone resigns in this room, someone will be able to just say, "Oh, it's the HDC credential," as opposed to.
And that should include the YouTube site.
Yes,
Because we have a
definitely.
usual site, and we have posted our business roundtables to the site, and people have actually told me in the street that they watch them and
Yeah,
that they really like them.
Yeah.
So we're like,
yeah. I think it's just bringing
Yeah.
us in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what, are there, firewall, you and I have talked before, so just thinking about it again, I've got a lot of documents
Yeah.
that I would love to, ensure are secured where everybody has access to them.
Right. So
Most of them have already been public documents, stuff that I'm thinking, some of them are really not,
mhm.
but should perhaps be memorialized.
Mhm.
Are you creating a secure zone?
Yes. We'll have you put everything onto a hard drive, and then I suspect you'll keep it upstairs in the office, and then put it under a password protected.
Okay.
You know, access to the computer itself.
Great.
I just think, I think that the bigger housekeeping issue, I don't know how long you guys have had these offices, but there are drawers, I know you guys were talking about when I walked in.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
drawers and drawers of just paper. And I have OCD, so it's just like, it's so overwhelming when I go up there. So I feel like we should sort of, I think Paul and I are kind of combing through what we should keep. And then just, I think, throwing the rest out. You know?
Well, we have to share it, so
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
But I do think that's important. I mean, I don't think anything has been out of there for many years. And
Many
we did go through some of the grant writer's office. But yeah, so we should have a housekeeping.
Yeah.
Because we're going to use more of that.
Yeah. So,
Um,
and that's the part of the other side of this is the grant writing, which probably, I was talking to Phil about this last week, it's an ongoing process, whether the JLE thing happens or not. You know, it's good for us to be writing grants and being active and keeping all those documents, because it's sort of, it's plug and play. Once you get, grants are sort of, once you get your documents, it's sort of
information.
Yeah. So we
Well,
just,
these students, we grant, we probably go up to we get your articles of incorporation.
yeah,
There was no document yet.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it took a while. I don't know,
yeah.
but,
I may be asking you for that, because I haven't been able to find it.
1987.
We have a balance, by the way, in the CHC account.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
saying.
You know, I'm not on the, I'm not on CFC.
No, I want to understand, we can do it through
It's a
Ray,
trick.
just so you can aware that
Is it
Okay,
five
let's
hundred and change.
let's move on to the John L. Edwards update. As you remember, we presented our offer to purchase the building on February 12th for their HDC board meeting. They returned from the broker asking for more information for the offer. I'm going to pass around this folder. This is the offer. I think everyone should have a copy of it. I would just say, since this is a real estate transaction, I request that you keep the terms of this to yourself. It's in the seller's hands tonight again at board meeting, and generally we like to respect the seller and the buyer to be private about it until they will of course become public knowledge, and they will of course read that at some point. But at this point in time, until there's some sort of agreement, it's a good time to keep it to yourself. So be discreet, basically. Your questions would how much would we put down a contract, or would we hold the money in escrow? Also, they wanted a statement of true funds, so we sent them our year-end statement, which is attached to that. And they wondered if we were going to make a concession of rezoning the building, and we said no. And then what the due diligence period would include. And we spoke with about the due diligence language and what we should put in there to cover us it's not so much what we know is wrong with the building, but it's finding out the costs involved in renovating it and bringing it back to use. So there's a 6-month period of that, and There seemed to be, we turned out in, this last night, and, the agent responded to Paul and said that he thought it was very well described, and that, we would, we have to get the FOIL and check out money. So we'll get an executive session, but if you have any questions or you want to add anything about the general offer,
What was your comment about zoning?
the school is zoned for school, so it would have to be rezoned. The school board,
R1.
thank you. And they're very concerned that whatever developer, and as well they should be, whoever comes in to develop it, if they're gonna put in a factory or a highlight, and we wouldn't necessarily zone that. So they wanted to be sure that we weren't needing it to be rezoned before we put this as a key.
Why don't you need it?
Because it can be what you want to do whatever R1.
Doesn't have to be. So what we're doing doesn't have to be.
I mean, I think we may want.
And everything around it anyway is the similar sort of usage, so. It's hard to know.
It's surrounded by R2.
Yeah.
But it's R1. Some professional office.
Yeah.
But we don't, well, I don't know if there is a C3. There's a central commercial. There's some special residential districts and transitional residential districts. You can have professional offices in R2. It's a permitted use. I believe in R2. A conditional use matter. I think daycare would be more in the lines of the government, but if we needed to do something else, it would have to be.
Any other questions about the narrative? And so we're hopeful that we'll hear something, probably tomorrow, because they need to know. They go into executive session, so you can attend the meeting. But we did get a very favorable comment from broker that they reviewed the offer carefully and that they were very happy to have that.
So we anticipate a decision.
We don't know, but we could have one, I guess. We could have a preliminary agreement to be
More than likely. Amazing.
So,
It's not a contract, but I think there'll be.
Yeah, I think we have to have another question.
yeah, we don't know what there's another interested buyer. We don't know what they're, until.
Well, we don't know if they went back to the other line and said we need to do a best in final. Because that would be the language they would have to get them if they feel they need to let them know they're not going to consider that offer. So they might have done that and they might come back to me with a different offer. So maybe okay. We'll keep you posted. So, our work with Denimorph is going really well. We've had numerous committee conversations, and during the week and then on Thursdays at 4 we have different calls with different focus. Last Thursday we saw the first pro forma for the building created by them. The pro forma is basically a picture of the financial expectations and use of the space and the costs to remediate and repair the aspects of it that need to be brought up to code again. It's the first, glance at it is often, a bit scary, which it was. It's based on a lot of unknowns, and it's based on a lot of speculation to date. And we factored in, cost per square foot for rentals in the Hudson area, and we factored in a few things that we could cobble together based on, what we thought and what they know and what they thought and what they've seen happen before. But it did tell us that we need to be concentrating on really pushing hard on a few, which we know, which is normal, the cost, the construction cost to really define what we're talking about, not so much what was estimated in the feasibility study, and then when we revised it for today's costs. There's things in there we probably will not be doing, and there's things not covered that we might do. So we're going to have the building committee, which is made up of Nick and others, engineers and architects and contract people, go back into the school and review it based on the square footage. I spoke to the lead Danda man this morning, and he never was in the building, so he didn't base his estimate on that. He based it on what the architect gave him in terms of floor plans and specs. And I asked him, would it be possible, we can be doing floor plans, but would it be possible once we have gone through the building with our team of people, would we be able to get back to him with a narrative spec on what we might want to consider? There was some demolition involved in the estimate that we have been using, and that probably will not be something that we will be going forward at this time. And I mean, ideally, we can wait, but we're looking at the building more as getting it remediated and getting it, outfitted to be used as a rental space for various different people according to what their needs are. So we're working hard on that part of it. When you're using the term white box space, which is really not applicable to the building, I don't think, it's deceiving what we would be doing. I mean, white box is really for its terminology is used a lot in Manhattan, but it's also used to take a big space and just clean it out and just make it white. And you can do whatever you want. This is there's very specific spaces in there, and yet they're very generic in a way too. So we have to figure out, balance the combination. The tenant part of it is another huge piece, as you all know. The feasibility study did have a city government meeting in there, which is almost, which is one of the most important parts of this project, would be to have Hudson City government move into the floor that was intended for them to be all under one roof. We don't have a sense of the mayor's thoughts on this. We haven't had a chance to hear his pro or con on it, and we hope that we'll be able to be meeting with him soon. This is a key piece of this equation to bring Hudson building back, to take it off the corner of the school district, which has been struggling with this money since 2019 and costing Hudson taxpayers a great deal of money. So we're hopeful that he will see that this is a very good project for Hudson to go into and come over to say yes, that it would be possible that it suits them. This is hopefully the next week and see what we can come up with. The other tenants that we're talking to, as you all know, Columbia Green Community College, they bring over programs to get some students and people, not just students, people who need to reskill themselves in a new field for living wage kinds of jobs. Also, child care connections and family would start daycare. Denmark is asking us to explore with them would they consider putting a private daycare center in there, would they consider putting forward someone who could run the daycare and not having to be a city daycare. So, and it wouldn't be a city daycare, but so we're working with them and we've been meeting with them on Monday to see if that's possible. The need for daycare is so huge that I can't imagine we can give them that without some. Yeah, no, it's some.
Sliding.
Yeah, sliding. Then we also have I spoke with Eric DeFeo, he has a fashion incubator, and he needs 4,000 square feet to do We're trying to connect with Columbia Memorial Hospital. We have a meeting with Bard College on Thursday to talk with them about the high school for college, the program that they run in Hudson. They've expanded that in other areas, and we're hopeful that they would want to take on that space in the building too. They seem very enthusiastic. And others to come. If anyone can think of some business or small entrepreneurial people who might want to know that this might be coming down the pipe and how much space would they need. It's a matter of asking people how much space do you need, often they don't know, but we weren't doing that. So Jenna Murphy's guys asking people how much space do you need. So that's, also, I'm in touch with someone at the Culinary Institute in Hyde Park, because I think something from there would be great. I have contact in Buffalo. They have a very robust hospitality program. And I don't know if they would feel comfortable coming on over there, and if they would want to, but I'll let them say no. Any questions or any ideas on that? I would just say that it's important for us to make this happen. It's the biggest project I think that any of us have worked on. So, you know, you're putting the pieces together, and any given day, some days it looks impossible, and other days it looks very doable, and other days you can't believe how great an idea it is. So it has a lot of positive going for it, but we really do need the city to participate, because this is Hudson, and this would be good for Hudson, and we're going to have to work very hard on it. So, okay. Anything else on that? I'm gonna Jess apologizes for not being here, moving to the grant part. She's had this terrible flu thing, and she's not well enough to come to it. So, I'm sorry. We did have a meeting a couple days ago, Jan, and so, member from the state about grants and grant applications and which ones we should be thinking about. Probably the most is Empire State Development. Probably, and she's very helpful. I think she really kind of explained how we should think about it and explain the project. She thinks that the Restore New York grant, which is due 5th of May, would be a really great grant for us to apply for. It's $250 million in New York State money. The book of the grant is it has to be applied for by the municipality, so the mayor would have to submit the grant. We asked her, would it be possible for us to research the grant, write the grant, and implement it? Should we be awarded it? Should it be submitted by the city? And she said yes, that would be possible. 100%, but so that grant is going to be a collaboration between the city and us in order for us to be eligible for that money. She said it's quite right for the project as you described it, because there's a lot of different pieces of what we're trying to do, including renovating the building. She's discovered another grant called the Kubota Hometown Proud Grant, which is due the end of March, with letting us know in the end of April, and that would be a smaller grant. That would be like $25,000 or $30,000, but she said it would be a good test of the first grant application, so that she would be willing to do that. There's a USDA grant, Rural Development Community Facilities Grant Program in New York. These are rolling applications. There's quite a lot of money available in those, and they would be for all manner of building work.
Don't they offer like 30-year loans at 1% or something like that?
I believe they do. I mean, I know the Shape of the Museum in China is taking it together, and the clock Blue Reef has also happened. So yeah, I think you're right about that. The Regional Economic Development Council's Brownfield Opportunities Area, Home and Community Renewal Grant. We don't think Hudson's a part of brownfield designation. Do you know that, Paul? It takes 7 years to do that.
There are a couple of spots.
But not around here. No buried tanks or,
We were sending kids to school.
The ones that were considered.
Okay, so, with these grants, the deadline is, May, and they're rolling applications, so that would be something that we could look into. Most grant applications need a property data sheet for each property, a project proposal from the lead entity conducting the project. In some cases, that would be HDC or the mayor, and I asked if the common council could be a lead agency on that, and she didn't think so. Do you know about that?
It's a journey.
Yeah.
And the city's represented by one.
Yeah. But I asked if you that we're gonna need the credentials and qualifications of resume of the lead entity conducting the project. This is the materials that Jen and I just are talking about amassing so that we can plug and play these into a variety of grants. A site map of each property clearly marked, a letter from the local planning zoning official stating the project is compatible with local ordinances, a third-party project cost estimate, 5 years of operating pro forma letter and matching fund commitments. Publication through property assessment, publication through notice and public hearing and municipal resolution. So some of these things will not be ready by the time that we want to apply. And I asked, would it be possible to still apply and cite the items that we don't have as being underway, or has to wait until this happens. And she said that would be the best way to go, that you would be in the So it's obviously the best to have a fully populated grant, but in some cases with these kinds of restrictions, we won't have some of this information. So,
Chris, do you really want to see out of that list? What?
well, a public hearing, notice of public hearing, a municipal resolution from the city saying that they would be willing to participate for it, third-party cost estimates, which we're working on, but I don't know what actually everybody did from. We can do the site map. Our
I can
connection.
do
You can? Okay. I can take that out.
I'll just look at the parameters each time, so we don't.
Yes, okay, and I'll send you this email so you
I
know.
can do a regular site map. So you.
I mean, we're also working on the language of why we're doing this. I mean, this is a big part of the immigrant writing, and it has to be, the hook in the eye that, right? Yeah, the narrative, and she just offered to ask me to do this too. The why at this point in time, early days, is by acquiring and renovating an unused school into a community hub, HDC can play a pivotal role in Hudson's development. The decision for a local development operation. There are several reasons to support such an initiative. The community revitalization, preservation of community, purposing the existing school preserves a community asset, maintaining the historical and cultural significance of the building. It honors the shared memories of residents and contributes to a sense of continuity. Space for community services. The renovated school can serve as a central location for various community services such as educational programs, healthcare clinics, job training, after-school activities, and social services. This consolidates essential resources in one accessible location. Meeting diverse needs. A community hub can be designed to meet a wide range of community needs, from hosting town hall meetings and cultural events to providing meeting spaces for organizations. It becomes a versatile space that adapts to evolving community requirements. Promoting social inclusion. A community hub can serve as a gathering space that fosters social interaction, bringing together diverse groups within the community, and promotes a sense of belonging and social cohesion. Job creation and economic impact. The acquisition and renovation process itself can generate employment opportunities, contribute to local economic development. Additionally, the community hub can host events and activities that attract visitors, potentially boosting local businesses. Educational opportunities can be used for education programs, workshops, classes, lifelong learning. It supports the educational needs of the community and enhances the skill set of residents, contributing to overall well-being. catalyst for neighborhood improvement. The renovation of the school consists as a catalyst for growing neighborhood improvement. As the hub becomes a focal point, it will attract further investments and initiatives aimed at enhancing the overall quality of life in Hudson. Collaboration and partnerships. The community hub can facilitate collaboration among local organizations. And becomes a centralized space for partnerships, ensuring that resources are pooled. Responsive to community input, involving the community in the decision-making process and designing the hub ensures that it reflects the actual needs and desires of residents. This participatory approach to the sustainability adds to the success of the project. So, good thinking. Any questions about the grant?
That one, that's the construction.
Yes, yes. I'm not even sure what they provided like that. She didn't put it in, so I can't talk about it. But
Yeah, just do the work.
yeah,
Really.
yeah. So, yeah, I think, I mean, to Jan's earlier point, if this is grant writing that goes on, it should be going on, all those grant writing useful. Should see that they have grant writing on staff. So, this is something that we need to bolster up. I do think we're going to need more grant writers. I think, Jess is great, and we've talked amongst ourselves about once we have the materials, that the pieces and what we need to write for, and the information in a language that's uniform, then we can direct numerous people to be working on various grants at a time, which would be good. And sometimes they might come across a grant in the process of reviewing the landscaping grants that would be available for Hudson that might be good for businesses, which in old days, as many of you remember, and Martha knows this, she knows this, but if you come across a grant that might work for a business that you know in Hudson, let them know about it, that they can apply for it, or you can help them find a way of doing that.
So a bit of information.
Yeah,
sharing
yeah,
for
information,
grants.
yeah,
That's
and I think
terrific.
they were good at it, she's good at that, so we should expect it to be able to do that. Okay,
How are we writing grants? Is it on the, do we have a server? Do we Google Docs? How are, how do we share?
I think it's Google Docs, right? Jess is setting that up, so. And yeah, if you want to contribute to that, that would be really good.
Yeah,
Because
so
you've
the
written,
process, I can do the tracking, to,
Yeah.
but then you also have all the documents there. And you can show.
yes, saves a lot of time.
Yeah. You need to get, you can access that on there. Okay. Or will you show like it's on,
All right, that's all I have for that. Then the DANDA report, I did speak, I think I said earlier, I did speak to the construction, the construction estimates for the feasibility study originally, and then we had revised the estimates to today's dollars. And I spoke to him this morning, he was in Florida, so at the beginning of April. He didn't visit the site, and he did, he said that he could work from a descriptive or a narrative request for an estimate of 3,000. So the the building committee and the building committee will have to be aware of that when they're going through the building.
Absolutely. And we've been spending time reviewing it,
Yeah.
the various venom wolf.
So, and also, if anybody knows anyone else that would like to have a tour of the building, go in the building and we open it up again, which is very next week. For a tour, let me know and I'll really effective on that. Now, I'm gonna bring Liz York, who is the youth center, she wanted to come and do a walk through. She didn't come in last time. And maybe there's a couple other people that should be in there.
Well, I think at this stage, there's a little bit of a paradigm shift in terms of how broadly communicative we need to be to stay and move forward. Once we have a response to the offer and so on, it seems to me that one of our focuses is probably part of the return for the local business math we should be looking at events and opportunities to show as many people as we comfortably can manage. To take a look at the building frequency, extraordinary.
I would just like to stress again how absolutely critical it is to the city to be a partner. And I know that our conversations have been on the council side, the council seems to be positively disposed, but without, it's incumbent that we have as a partner, and ultimately, in my opinion, only that the city at some point is going to take ownership of this. We take ownership of this building. It would be a city asset at some point. But do you think completely do you think it's possible to make it, how's this? Let's wait until tomorrow morning if we hear something positive from the Board of Education. But working under that assumption that it is at least a conversation keeps going, is there something that in front of them that we would make a pitch in the formal meeting of the council? Would that be something that could be arranged? Right. That's terrific. That would be very good. Goes a long way. Yeah. But we need the mayor's office. Up to now, we have, I think there's going to reach out. Okay? And hopefully that'll come.
I think we put something like
I think so too. I think.
and to Phil's point, we haven't been putting that on marketing calendar. Let's assume that they set the offer and we forward stuff. Some sort of a marketing calendar for how we roll out the information about this, so that it's not a bunch of rumors and stuff, and it has a cohesive thing that come at people. I think we only get one chance to make a great first impression, so we want to make that. I'm sure we do a good job of that. So we might do it. Yeah. All right. Okay, that's all I have for general reference at the moment. The March roundtable, I've reached out to Chris Nardone. The Let's Talk Business with the theme of employment, hiring, understanding the hiring landscape of Hudson is something that anybody has an interest in. I know we know there's going to be 60 jobs required for what will be the contract factory when that opens up, and there's other 60 jobs here and there, and Kristen will tell you that having staff is the key to successful business. So he's a very good speaker on this topic, and Martha suggested him, and I reached out to him. He's thinking about it. So it would probably be more towards the end of March. We did our first two at the beginning of the month, but there's no real need to so we'll probably put it towards the end of March. So that's what's happening on that front. If anybody has an idea for a great speaker for a roundtable that applies to Hudson economic growth, business, jobs, anything like that, please reach out and put them forward and because I think that I can see who's coming and how and who's there. I think it's a good thing to do, but I think the speaker has to really drives the attendance. So good speakers are always welcome. Tana Dillon suggested yeah, you know her. Come on, help me out here.
I didn't know his name.
Yes.
I said to Tammy, do you know her? She goes, no, I would love to get her husband. I go, like, well, okay. Give me a call with it. Okay, so that's the meeting.
Yeah. Why don't we ask him?
What else? Is there any other comments from anybody, ideas? Is that one of the lines?
I don't know him, but
Is it CMA?
Yeah, he lives in Carolyn, so.
He's hard to approach though, he's very hard to approach, he's got his own like, he really did that to us. Okay, well, he hates, yes, he doesn't like an approach now, but yeah. We'll approach you. could say, you know, what the dog heard, or what's the name of the book I'm looking for, what the dog saw. Any other comments about anything else that anyone else says?
This is one of the things, I don't, if there's a way to talk to them against.
Yes.
One of the things that you find is, everybody that applies has literally worked at every place here.
Oh.
And so retention could be as important as, finding.
Yes, okay. That's good to know. And how does that work when everybody's working at every place here? What are the after effects of that?
Well, employers know that you can't come in and hire somebody. You literally find someone working at a similar business and you offer them another $1 an hour and you hope they get it. Which is not that easy.
Yeah.
And some of the ones that prefer to.
Yeah. Everything really you have to, you're not allowed to. Well, I actually heard a conversation from somebody about this, that somebody worked with somebody's background and then they brought them over here. They started at the background, but we moved them to that thing. But you know, it's like, yeah, it's constant. I just say, okay, he'll be back. He'll be back. He'll be back. I know that he'll be back. Okay, so anything else? Okay, is there a public comment? Any public comments?
No, not today.
With the last people.
Okay, so I guess I will see you all at the March 19th meeting at noon. I'll be in this room, and there'll be refreshments and I don't have any motion to adjourn. John, second, Nick, all in favor? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and- So we'll figure out what we did. Okay? Yes, we have to get our materials and
Yes.
The candidate is still here.
Yeah.
Monday. I'm so excited.